So there's this new show on Netflix called My Korean Boyfriend, and it it centers five girls who fly all the way from Brazil to Korea to find love. Originally, when I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is a mess. Like, I'm not watching this." Like, and it looks cringy as hell. I ended up getting bored sometime this week, and I thought it's only 6 episodes. What could go wrong? And I think watching it, the amount of times I had secondhand embarrassment. I was like screaming at certain times. I had my head in my hands because I just couldn't bear to watch it certain times. And I just kept asking, like, who is this for? Like, who on earth would create a show like this? I've watched the show. If you haven't watched the show, no need. I've done all the watching for you. So yeah, let's get into the review of My Korean Boyfriend. So episode one starts. You meet five girls called Katie, Luani, Camilla, Morena, and Mari, and already it looks scripted. Like you have, I think they're standing in Seoul, and they're like over a bridge, and they're basically making a wish on like what they aim to get at the end of this trip. It also looks like obviously these girls love Korean culture, and they're always like saying, "Oh, I want my K-drama love story," which is cute if you were like if they were teenagers or maybe early 20s. But these women, like they're grown women. So it's like, I can't believe you got yourself in a situation like this at your grown ass age. They give themselves a month to find love, which is not enough time. Like some of them are already in relationships and they come to like, take their relationship to the next step. But like for the women that are finding love, there's not enough time. And I don't understand how you can like called like say if you are successful in finding love in a month, what happens when you go back to Brazil? Like, are you taking these men with you? Are you staying in Brazil? Are staying in Korea? Like, what's going on? Like 1 month, and then what? In the beginning, they're all like stood at the airport. If you've ever read like a Wattpad story, like a few years ago, it gives that like someone's just picked a story of Wattpad and thought, great, stick that on Netflix, there you go. There's your entertainment. Like it gives, it's very Wattpad-y, like Wattpad-esque. Like a girl goes to Korea and falls in love with a K-pop idol. It's like, who the hell is this for? The first girl to go on a date is Katie, and she goes on a date with Jack. And I think the story about them is that she met him in Busan in Korea, and like I think they've been like talking on and off for a while, and they go on a date together. And even like when you watch like when Katie goes and opens the gate for the first time and like it's so dramatic, Jack looks up, there's like a slow Korean music playing in the background. And it's so like, and you have all the girls swooning and screaming in the background. This is so like scripted, overly produced, it's too artificial, it's too cringy. Already like their date is so awkward, and it's very clear that they don't have much in common. Like he doesn't like spicy food, but she does. He's allergic to cats, and she's like a cat mom. She enjoys going out and like partying quite a lot, but like he's a homebody, and also he's like, I think which is fine, like fair to him, but he doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life and like where he wants to go. Katie's trying, like she really wants us to work with him, and she's like searching for something in common, but it's very clear that they don't have anything in common. And so they have like this awkward pauses in the date. Then we go to Luani, who meet Siwon. I want to say, yeah, his name is Siwon, and they go on a date together. Luani is a single mom, and she like already is worried because I think like culturally she's got like a child. I think she's got a daughter, and obviously if she wants to get married to Siwon, I think culturally in Korea, like it's frowned upon. A red flag about like Luani, because see, Luani is one of the girls who's already got something going on. So she doesn't come to Korea to find love from like grassroots. Like she doesn't come to Korea and then she finds love. Like she's already like got a relationship going on with Siwon, and obviously like the red flag that smacks us right in the face, but apparently it doesn't smack Luani hard enough, is that he basically wanted to send him, or he says that like he wants to send her money, and he wanted to like provide for her and come to Brazil, and he was like talking all this, sweet talk. And then he ended up like flaking, like he never came to Brazil. I think he said that like the plane ticket was like too expensive, and then he asks her for money and like ask her to ask her friends. Huh? to send him money, which was like crazy. And I think she does it. Like she does actually ask her friends and she does send Siwon money. There's also like a language barrier between Siwon and Luani. She can't speak Korean. His English is like barely good. So like already like communication is something that's not there between the two of them. Like on their date, like he gives her his jacket and she's here like swimming, like scream, because like these girls want their Korean drama, K drama love story. So literally, these men do the bare minimum, and these girls are literally like screaming, swooning, and it's like, I need you to stand up for me.
Girl, get up. Girl, get up. Girl, get up.
So basically, during that day, Siwon brings a gift like in a box, and Lou thinks it's the ring. And obviously, when he opens the box, it's actually not a ring. It is some earbuds, and they put it into their ears so that they could understand each other. So he speaks fully in Korean, and somehow that's translated, and she understands it, and she speaks to him in Portuguese. That's translated. Like it's the communication is not there, but somehow these two are still together, and it works for them. In the date, like he sings to her in Portuguese, not very well, but once again, bare minimum, she's loving it. She's screaming, gagging, and basically she says that she wants to be married to him, and he says like one day, like it's coming soon, like we'll get married. And obviously the mood goes down when they bring up money. So for some reason, like a theme with Siwon is that he's not really good with money, like he's has a problem with money, which they don't really, I mean, he does go into it, like we do go into it in the next episode, which I'll break down, but I was still confused about what the issue is with him and money. Also, like one of the things he also keeps saying is that he wants her to look after his money, um which I don't get. And then we move to Morena and Suwung. They've been together for a year. So they are Morena is one of the girls who has been in a relationship, and she obviously comes to Korea as well to like move to the next step. He is actually open to moving to Brazil, but then his mother is the issue. The mother is very conservative, and one of the things that they talk about on their date and their meeting is that I think one of the first times that Morena met Suwong's mom, she was wearing like the jeans that are like they've got slits in them, or like they're distressed. I think that's the fashion, like distressed jeans, and they've got like cuts and like slits in them. I'm guessing like Morena wore jeans like that, and the mom was basically against it. So it's like a thing like in their relationship that like Morena doesn't dress modestly enough for him. For me, that's also another red flag. And while Morena is seen in the show as like someone who's got like an established relationship, like she's got what the girls, I'm guessing, want. Like they want to get married to a Korean man, and they want to like live in their K drama love story. I just like, for me, I was like, well, if Suwon like wants, I think he's so like obsessed with like what his mom wants, and it's like, if you care, to me, in my opinion, like if you care so much about that, like why did you marry a girl that like your mom wants? Like why would you get a girl like Morena's a baddie, like body T, face card never declines. Like not being funny, but Suwon is punching. Like Morena's an absolute beauty, and like him trying to like basically say that like the way she dresses and taking the side of his mom, I was giving the side eye a little bit. Like obviously the stretched jeans is not like, it's not the best fashion choice, but like it gives very much like, oh, I've got this body and I'm trying to like control her, I'm trying to like rein her in. Then we go into episode 2. So in episode 2 you have Mari, and Mari's been calling her boyfriend, or her guy. Well, they're not really boyfriend because they're not really committed, but the guy that she's been seeing is called Danny. And obviously it starts with episode 1. She's been calling this guy. He's not picking up. Like every time that you see Mari, like she's on the phone, like trying to get through to her man, and obviously he's not picking up. Danny doesn't pick up until episode 2, and I think they arrange like a date or a meetup. And then we also meet Camilla. So Camilla is Korean. She I think she moved to Brazil when she was 3 years old. And yeah, she comes to Korea. She doesn't really have a relationship, like she doesn't have a boyfriend or anything like that. Like she doesn't come to Korea to like move to the next stage. She's not really actively searching for someone, but I think she's like here to discover like her culture and like where she's from. Like for me, I love Camilla. Camilla was so interesting to me. I wasn't really like, the rest of these girls were frustrating the hell out of me, but Camilla was like she had her head screwed on tight. Camilla makes the show worth watching. Like there were times I feel like if Camilla wasn't on that show, I'd have turned it off quite a long time ago. But she actually, makes me stomach watching the show a little bit more. She's actually enjoyable to watch. At one point, I think the girls go clubbing, and a group of Korean guys go to meet like the girls, and they're sort of like mingling. And obviously, Camilla gets some attention from these Korean guys. And one of the things that stuck out to me that was like, I like Camilla and I like her mindset. Obviously, Camilla's like talking to this guy like the whole night, or what seems like the whole night. And at the end of it, Morena's like, "Oh, you should give him a kiss." And I was like, huh? And obviously Camilla says no because she's like, I've literally just met him. Like, and I was like, I'm not looking for anything. Like, in other words, Camilla's being polite by saying, listen, I'm not thirsting for Korean men like you are. So you need to like calm down. But like, basically, she's not like hungry for Korean male validation. Like, the rest of these girls are on that. Like, there, I must, I must leave. I'm not leaving Korea until I get a kiss. Like, it's given that. But that was like very alarming to me. I was like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean? Like, she's just met this man and you want her to kiss him? Like, that's why some of you are in the relationships and the situationships that you are in. Then it moves on to Morena. So Morena gets engaged to Sung, and she gets engaged in the two-piece suit. Like, she is fully dressed for this engagement. So then we move to Siwon and Luani. So they go and like get like a get together and like have a meeting. And he opens up to Luani about his trauma, like his traumatic past, and I'm guessing like centered around money. And I think from what I was like, when the thing is, I wanted to get emotional because obviously someone was like in tears, he's crying, opening up to Luani, and obviously Luani's crying as well. They're having like a heart to heart, and I was just like, I'm just not moved. Like I wanted to be moved so bad. I just wasn't moved. He didn't grow up with money. I think one a really sad part is that I think he said that he used to go out with his friends and like when they would order food or something like that, he'd be like, "Oh, I've already eaten," like because like he didn't want to have to spend money and stuff. So like obviously he does like have some sort of trauma with money, but I wasn't. I don't know what it is. I just wasn't moved enough. I don't know whether it was the editing or I don't know what about it, but I think it's like we already have the red flag about him asking her for money. So obviously then Luani goes back to the girls and like sort of gives them a debrief of like everything that happened with like her and Siwon and him opening up. And basically Camilla is not buying it. A gem like in this episode, like Camilla says that like why is Siwon like always asking you for money or like asking you to ask your friends for money? Like if he needs money, like he should ask his family and his people, like his circle first. He shouldn't always come to you and especially like ask you to borrow money from your friends. And Luani says like, oh, it's because like he must feel ashamed or he must feel like he doesn't want to burden his family. Camilla is Korean, like she knows, even though like yeah, she moved to Brazil when she was 3. Um, and I think like she's lived there for like quite a while. Camilla's always dropping gems. She's always dropping gems and being like, as somebody who's like grown up in Korean culture, like obviously like her family's Korean, she's Korean herself. So she drops these gems like, oh, girls don't fall for it sort of thing. But these girls are so they want their Korean drama love story so bad that they're not like deep in what Camilla's saying. And then basically it goes to a girls' night. So they have well, it's supposed to be a girls' night, but then I think they turn it into like a house party. So they invite their guys over and like to have like a little house party situation. And also, side note, like I'm guessing like I don't know whether it's an Airbnb or whatever, but the house that they lived in during this entire time, the house was so nice. On their house, they had like a little roof terrace situation where they'd go on the roof and it gave like a really gorgeous views around the city. So Danny is the first one to arrive to the house party and he comes in with 2 of his friends. And then Jack arrives, but like he greets everybody and then he sits away from Katie. So like they're sat like really opposite each other. Like he doesn't sit anywhere near Katie. Katie's talking to Chen Hao, who's one of Danny's friends, and they're talking about like, I think because Chen Hao is Chinese, and so I think they're talking and like maybe she was trying to get Jack to be jealous, but Jack was not caring enough, and I think he was looking awkwardly like, you've invited me here, and yeah, like nobody's saying anything, nobody's speaking. Because also like the guys don't really know each other. So I was feeling very awkward for Jack and I was like, Jack is better than me because I would have stood up and gone home. Like what is the purpose of me being here? And then next, Siwon comes in, and then Suwung, who's Morena's boyfriend. The camera catches Siwon saying to Luani that he thinks Morena's like engagement ring is ugly, which like the amount of times I reverse that because I would just, as someone that who's into like reality TV and like knows how editing works and things like that, I want to like get to the bottom because it came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, 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 like what's going on? Like why has he said that? And obviously it's very clear that he said it. Like the broken English, like it's very clear that like Siwon said it. But I think like the way it was edited in, it's just random. Like there's no like build up, or and also like after he says it to Luani, like she doesn't check him or like say anything else. So it doesn't really like, yeah, the way like it comes out, like it's obviously paint like the way obviously it's been put in the show is to paint Siwon as like messy and rude, um yeah, and like and as mannerless. But yeah, like it doesn't really bring anything to the scene. I'm guessing, in my opinion, these girls were brought on the show and they bond together. Like as the episodes go on, you see like there's a bond forming and they get along really well. But I don't think these girls are best friends. I was expecting Luani to check Siwon, and I think maybe it's because she wasn't as close. She's not, Morena isn't her friend like that, or like her ride or die. And also like for Siwon to like say comment on Morena's ring, it's like, well, at least Morena's got a ring. Like, what have you given to Luani? Nothing. Nothing. Like you've not given Luani anything. Also, another thing that Siwon gets heat for is that he says Brazilian girls have got a strange personality. Obviously, that's when Lou gets offended. Like she was not really offended about like for Morena. She didn't really check Siwon by saying like, hey, don't say that, or that's not really acceptable. But also like then in that as well, I also gave Luani the side eye because it's like, why would Siwon feel so emboldened to like talk about Morena like that, or like talk about her engagement ring like that? Like you must agree. The reason why someone has the audacity that he has is because Lou is like never, corrects him, never checks him. She never like holds him accountable. Basically, I thought he said Brazilian girls have like a strong personality. Like Brazilian girls, like Latina girls, are seen as like feisty, are passionate. I think that's what he meant. I didn't think he meant like strange, that they're strange or they're weird. Luana also says to Siwon that maybe you're into Turkish girls, and like keep that in mind, Turkish girls, like because like a random cliffhanger comes through. Because I was thinking like last time, like no offense, but like Turkish girls aren't seen as like the most docile or the most like meek. If anything, Turkish women are. I would put like Turkish women and also Brazilian women are just as like passionate and like spicy as each other. So I found that very weird. I think also like during the house party, I couldn't help but think that like I wish we got to know more about the guys, because like in that setting when like watching all of them mingle and like talk amongst themselves was pretty interesting. So I really like wish that like we got to know more about the guys, but like not through the girls, but like from an individual perspective. Camilla being Korean, she speaks to Siwon because obviously it's not working. Like Luani and Siwon are bickering like in front of the group, and like obviously because they've got communication issues, he's not really understanding what she's saying. She's not understanding what he's saying, and it's just getting nowhere. So obviously Camilla steps in. She speaks Korean fluently, so she is able to like translate and speak to Siwon, and she basically says, "I understand what you meant," which is like, I understand what Siwon meant. I'm not saying that what he said was okay, but I don't think he meant that like Brazilian girls are strange. He just said he meant that like I'm guessing like Koreans are more quieter, more reserved, and obviously Brazilian, like in Brazilian culture, they're more passionate and more expressive. When he speaks to Camilla, he's a lot. She's like, "Oh, I understand what you mean, like from a Korean standpoint, but when you say it in English, it comes across as rude." He storms off. And also like I like the way Camilla is. Like she's not she's like a bit like, oh, just because you're with Luani doesn't mean I have to like you. Like she's also putting Siwon in his place. And like Siwon basically gets frustrated and he storms up and he leaves. Then we move on to episode 3. So in episode 3, Camilla wants to get to know more about her culture. So she opens up a bit more. She moves to Brazil at the age of 3 with her dad, her grandparents, and her sister. And she's never met her mother, so she doesn't like know have a relationship with her mother. And like at that point, it's me like in the beginning they don't really like go into their ages, but like when Camilla said that she's been living in Brazil for 28 years, I was like, okay, so that means that like you're in your 30s. or like your early 30s, which isn't bad. But then it starts like from that point on, not necessarily towards Camilla, but to the rest of the girls. I was like, oh, you girls are way too old to be behaving like this. So basically, Morena suggests that the girls all go to Hanok village and they all try on hanboks and basically, immerse themselves in Korean culture. And obviously, the girls love it and they want to go. But Morena also lets it slip that like she's always wanted to go and try on a hanbok, but Suwon does not want to. Even though like he's Korean, like he doesn't want to do it. And so she calls him and she says like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Hanok village. Like I've always wanted to go and try on hanbok." And he says uses the word embarrassing, which is something like I give him a major side eye to. I was like, why would that be embarrassing? But I think he said that like, oh, everyone looks at you wearing a hanbok. So I don't really know why he used the word embarrassing, but I found that like so weird. But he said that like, oh yeah, you're better off going with the girls because like I'm not going. Like I don't want to go with you and like show on handbook. So basically, yeah, all the girls go to Hanok Village, and it's like a really nice moment. Like off topic, I really like it when the girls go and do stuff like that. So like they go at one point, they go to karaoke, they go to Hanok Village, they go like clubbing, like whenever it's like them as all together as one, like immersing themselves in the culture and like getting to know Korean culture. Like it's so nice to witness. Like I thought it was so like it's so nice. And even though like I'm guessing these girls only got together because of the show. Like it, I don't know, like it's you would think that they were friends for a long time because their bond is there. So basically, Camilla during the like as they're trying on the handbox and they're walking around the village, Camilla is starting to open up about her mom and like not knowing her mom and not having a relationship with her mom. And in walks Suwung. So Suwung walks in and he finally tries on like he finally wears a handbook after all, and he comes and he meets Morena, and all the girls are screaming and like gagging and like, oh my gosh, that's so romantic, romantic. I was like, I am not buying it one bit. Because I think like if you wanted to, like you would have done it like a while ago. Like you've been together for a year, and if this is something that you want to do, like why haven't you done it earlier on? And also for him to use the word embarrassing, I'm not here for it. I'm not buying it. But here, anyway, the girls were gagged. Then in the next scene, Katie and Jack go boxing. So they go on like a boxing day, and he asks her to cook for him, and she basically says that she can't cook, and it gets awkward again, like awkward silence. And basically, like their entire date was like them almost like being boring again, like kind of like the first date in episode one. And Katie says like they should be friends, which I was like, thank God for that. Like let's nip it in the bud. Because like, and I was at that moment where I was like Jack is not really a bad guy. Like he's not really like it's not his fault that they're not forming a connection. It's kind of like you can go on like mini dates and you might not gel with the person. That's fine. You're all different people. But yeah, like I feel like it's one of those things where it's like we shouldn't have been like I found it really awkward having to witness it. Next, Mary and Danny go on a date. So I mean they do meet. I think in episode two they finally meet, but it's not really like there wasn't really anything going on. So like even in my notes, I didn't really write anything in the notes because it was just so boring. Throughout the entire like series, like throughout the whole entire show, Mary and Danny go on dates, but like they keep repeating the same things. This is like their second date that they're going on, and they basically go shopping and like try on clothing and stuff, and then they go to a bar and then they go and get a drink. And basically Danny says like this is the first time that the both of them have spent a day together. Like they've never really spent a whole day together. And they also talk about skinship. And I think like and it's quite like it happens quite a lot in on their dates. Like Katie talks about it as well, and also Mary and Danny on every single date they talk about this, and I'm just like, well, I get that you're trying to get to know each other's culture. It's boring. Like you're clearly talking about the same stuff. They talk about like skinship and like they always compare like, oh, what's dating like in Brazil to like dating like in Korea, which is obviously like an interesting point. But like with Mary and Danny, they talk about it every single meetup. So I'm guessing in Brazil, like when you meet someone, it's you give them a hug, but you also give them like the double kiss, the way where you kiss like each side of the cheek. And so Mary like demonstrates it, but then like Danny looks so uncomfortable because he's like, oh my gosh, skinship. In the show, it's portrayed as like, oh, he's so shy because I think he says that like in Korea, like you would never do that, like you would never like kiss someone like on the cheek and get so close to them because like once again they're very reserved. If you like this girl, Like, why would it make you uncomfortable? Like you, because I'm guessing if you like someone, you want to be around them, you want to, I'm guessing hold them. So like whenever it comes to like Mary and Danny, like whenever she tries to like hug him or like demonstrate skinship, he seems very uncomfortable. So basically, Katie then tells the girls about her date with Jack and how they've agreed to basically remain friends and go their separate ways. And she gets emotional and she starts crying. And I don't mean this in any disrespect. I don't mean any disrespect by it. The way she was crying, she made it seem like her and Jack have been in a relationship for like 4 years and they've called it quits. I was like, girl, you've been on like what 2 dates and he's not the man for you. That's fine. Move on. I think it's because you guys are so hell bent on finding like a Korean man and like living out this Korean drama fantasy that in your head, like because he's like it's not works and you guys and you wanted it to work so many times, that's why you're getting emotional. And so yeah, I was a little bit like I'm not moved. Like you haven't this guy has is not been your boyfriend of 8 years that you split up with. Like maybe I would have resonated with you. Maybe even like a year. Like if you've been together for a year, 2 years, it's not worked out. Yeah, I understand the tears, but apart from that, I was like, you've literally gone on 2 dates with this guy, and both times it was clear that you guys were not compatible. And so I do understand that you were the Korean man, and at the end of this trip, you want to leave Korea with a holding hands with a Korean man. Like it's not like that deep. Like I need you to stand up. So all the girls go out. I've forgotten what they go and do. I think they go to karaoke, and they go to like a karaoke. I think it's called a norebang in Korea, but they go to like a karaoke and like sing song. And that's also another thing that I liked. Like I said, like I liked when they'd go out and just do things and like immerse themselves in the culture. See, Luani stays because she wants to talk to Siwon, and obviously his vibes already like when she opens the door, opens the gate, and he comes into the house, like he has his arms folded, like very very sassy. And also like in their argument it's very clear that they're not getting anywhere, like they're not seeing eye to eye. Siwon is trying to flip it on Luani and trying to like obviously make her feel bad. Meanwhile, I'm guessing in that the situation at the house party, it was all his fault. Like he was making shady comments and he was being disrespectful to the girls. Then obviously Luani drops a bomb. She accuses Siwon of cheating on her with a Turkish girl that apparently was his friend. So obviously when I said like remember Turkey, because obviously when I was like watching her say like, oh, you're calling Brazilian girls like, like loud or like saying that we have a strange personality. But I'm guessing you want a Turkish girl. Because I was thinking like, why Turkey? Like out of all the countries that you could have named. Come to find out that obviously he cheated on her with a Turkish girl that was supposedly his friend. So that's why she brought up Turkey. And then goes to a cliffhanger. And obviously then because I watched the episode, like I want to make this whole video like a full video of the entire series. I didn't want to do a part one and a part two. But like I want to mention that in the show, there's these reaction episodes. So after watching episode three, there's like a reaction episode that played after it. And it was basically I'm guessing these were like Brazilian entertainers. I don't really like I don't recognize anybody. I mean, I wouldn't because I don't really watch much Brazilian TV. I was trying to think like, what purpose do these people bring? Like, what does their reaction bring? And I'm guessing like in the first reaction, I wasn't really like I didn't care for it. I was thinking like, oh, well, like it's nothing really interesting. But to be quite fair, the second reaction, I was kicking and cackling because I was these people were not like these people were getting the same reactions that I was getting. So it was really funny. I'll try and put like snippets like I recorded as I was like watching.
E ela vai atrás, tá vendo? Ah, não, por favor, né? Segura o moleque. Não, não vai embora. Não vai embora. Não vai embora. Não vai embora. Meu Deus. Eu acho que vai. Eu acho que vai. Nossa, que ódio, gente! Eu achei que ia agora. Nossa. I really want to do something right. Sai, minha filha! Ela vai beijar ele no chão pra ligar pra polícia. Meu Deus, vai estar. Alguém tem que fazer isso. Vai. ver como é delícia tá com a gengiva sangrando, aquela espionda de tanta força. Foi muito. Foi ruim, Dodge. Eu achei não.
Also, like there were two Brazilian Koreans that were also reacting as well, and I was thinking like, I'm guessing like if there's like a Korean community in Brazil, like wouldn't have these girls would have found it easier, getting with Korean Brazilian guys as opposed to them coming all the way to Korea. Like anyway, I mean it's up to them, but yeah, I found that really interesting. Because also like having the two Brazilian Koreans like reacting, they also gave like an insight into Korean culture. Like they were making like comments where they were like, oh, like being Korean, they're a little bit like this or they're a little bit like that, which is also like exactly what Camilla was doing. Obviously, these girls weren't buying it. These girls were didn't want to listen to Camilla's advice. I started to enjoy the reaction episodes, especially when it came to episode 2 and like more things had happened. But I think I would have really loved to have seen the reaction from their friends and family. I think we should have gotten like Camilla's friends and family, Mari, Morena's, Katie, Luani. I would have loved to have gotten their friends and family to react to them and like see where like what they thought of it, but also sort of like where the craziness comes from. Because I want to know, like, does your mom or your sister approve of you flying all the way to Korea to disgrace yourself? Like, give me something. So I feel like, yeah, that's the only thing I would like maybe change. Like, while I did enjoy the second reaction episode, and I think that like, some of the entertainers, like, I'm gonna call them entertainers because they look like they're celebrities of some sort in Brazil. But I didn't really understand. I think it was just random, like having random Brazilians like react to another group of random Brazilians. Like there was no correlation. And then we go to episode 4. So in episode 4, Luani and Siwon are still talking, and they it's very clear that Lu is not over the cheating. Also, one thing I would say about Luani, no shade, but also whenever that girl would cry, there was never tears coming out of her eyes. I was like, I don't know whether it's acting once again, but there's never any tears coming out of your eyes. Or like it took quite a lot and a while before like one tear would drop. I was like, I'm still not buying it. Yeah, so Lou is not over the cheating, and she thinks that like for some reason like them getting married and him moving to Brazil will change things. Like she's still like requesting marriage and marriage. Like she wants to marry Siwon, and she's like requesting that he marries her. And he also like buys her a single rose, like a not just like a bouquet of flowers or a bouquet of roses. Like I mean, these are fake behind me, but like imagine like one of these roses, like he buys her one and like expects her to be grateful. He's like, look, I bought this rose for you. Like be grateful. She also talks about like her liking toxic relationships and like toxic. She likes her relationships toxic. I think she talks about her like early on in the episode. She talks about her getting with her ex and um it being very like the way they'd argue. Like she's into like that toxic love, and it's that's why it makes sense as to why her and Siwon are together. Basically, like they're both toxic to each other. I'm guessing Luani has a daughter. I'm guessing there was. I don't think it might have been like out of like a marriage thing. It was probably she just like maybe had a child out of wedlock or whatever. And I'm guessing that the reason why she's so hell bent on getting married to Siwon is not just because she wants this K drama love story and she likes Korean drama and Korean like love stories and she wants to be with a Korean man, but also I think she feels like, oh, I wanna if I'm gonna do this again, I wanna do it right. I wanna get married. Like I want the man to marry me before I get like I go back to having kids again. So I think it's like she really really wants marriage, even and doesn't really care if the marriage is going to be a good marriage or the person is marriage worthy. While the girls are at karaoke, they speak about Lou and they say like they really want her like to do better and they feel like she deserves better. And like the camera cuts back to Lou and Siwon. I'm thinking, girls, Lou think that she deserves better? You can want better for Luani. We all want better for Luani, but does Luani believe that she deserves better? Is what we should be asking. So basically, Siwon asks Luani what she wants because obviously it's clear that they're not seeing eye to eye. The argument isn't getting anywhere. Like he's basically saying, "Oh, look at this rose that I bought you. It was so expensive." But anyway, he asks her what she wants, and she says she wants to break up. And so he's like, okay, fine, let's break up. And he walks to leave. Guys, I kid you not, he gets to the end of Like they're sitting in a room, I'm guessing like in her bedroom. He doesn't even get out of the house. He doesn't even get down. He doesn't take one step. He doesn't literally get outside. And Luani's already like running towards him and running at him and being like, "Oh, I want you to fight more. Like, why would you accept the breakup?" So once again, like Luani loves the toxic love. So I'm guessing she want him to like she want him to like fight her or be like, "No, I'm not giving up on you." He is doing what she wants and is like, "Okay, like, you want to break up, let's break up." And she's like crying and running to him. Like within 5 seconds, she's like, after him. This is why he is doing what he's doing, because you do not hold this man accountable. Like you didn't even want to go like a day without speaking to him. Like he's not even taking one single step, and already you're getting back with him. Like what the hell? 2 minutes later, all it takes 2 minutes later, and they're back together. And yeah, like he didn't really have to fight for her. He didn't really have to do anything for her, and that's why Luani is in the relationship that she's in, because she doesn't hold this man accountable. And so basically, Luani tells the girls the whole entire debrief the next morning. And literally, it was so funny because Mari's face, like, I think Mari makes when they had the house party with all the boys, like, I think in episode 3, yeah, like, Mari tells, I think, Danny and, like, Danny's friends, like, she does not like Siwon. So, like, Mari's face when she finds out that, like, Luani and Siwon are back together, it was literally hilarious. Like she was not hiding it. So then Mari goes to Danny's house and he makes her Korean pancakes. Like the thing about Mari and Danny is like they would make good friends. Like first of all, Mari is gorgeous. Like her face is actually stunning. Like she should be on TV more. Like whatever she is, like good sis, nose piercing face. I mean, like all the girls are like pretty. Like Katie, stylish. Morena's a baddie. Like Mari is so beautiful. Like she's absolutely gorgeous. And like the way her and Danny speak, they are more friends. Like I found like their conversations more engaging. Like, as friends, it would be like it's so much nicer to see. Like because even like when Katie and Jack would talk, it was so boring, so awkward. And I don't really get that with Mari and Danny. Like whenever they just speak about normal things, like even when he was making her pancakes, like I can't lie, I was like, I was into it. And once again, they talk about the differences between dating in Korea and dating in Brazil. Mari says that like, yeah, in Brazil, it's like you embrace people more. You're gonna kiss each other on the cheeks a little bit more. And Danny says, yeah, no, in Korea, like nobody does that. You only kiss people if you're dating them, and which makes it clear because obviously Mari and Danny, they've been speaking together for like 6 months. They're not in a relationship yet. Like he hasn't asked her to be his girlfriend yet. So they're in that like weird stage. But once again, like when it comes to Danny, I think like if he wants to, he will. Next, Morena and Suwon go and they meet with the wedding planners. And this was another chaotic like episode as well. Basically, Morena wants a wedding in Brazil and in Korea. And she said she wants a traditional Korean wedding, but she wants like a white church wedding in Brazil. And Suwon he doesn't want a traditional Korean wedding, which is so weird. Like, I don't know what his issue is with this like traditional, because obviously he didn't want to wear the hanbok and like, when they went to Hanok village, but he ended up doing it anyway. So I was just wondering like, what's his issue with like Korean traditions and traditional Korean wear. Like I don't know what his issue is. And basically, like the wedding planners are looking so awkward because it's like you should have had this conversation before you came to us. While the wedding planners are there to like answer questions and help them out, like you kind of have to have some sort of things in order before. And it was very clear that Morena and Soon were just not on the same page. And then basically the wedding planners are like, oh, we need a date. Like you guys should like put down a date. So that at least if you have a date, you can get certain things in order. And Morena and Suwung say that they can't put down a date because they still haven't told Suwung's mom that the both of them are engaged, which is crazy because I was just like, well, why are you guys here? Why are you wasting these people's time? Then Camilla finally goes on a date. She goes on a date with a guy called Yu Chan. Already, like, he's already giving green flag. He speaks to her in Portuguese. Like, he tries to, like, learn a few parts of Portuguese to her. And, like, he sort of, tries to communicate with her. So then Yu Chan plans another date with Camilla. He says that like he wants to go on a running date with her and like I think eat ramen and stuff. Camilla agrees. So Camilla then goes back to the house and she's talking to the girls about her date with Yu Chan. And I think one of the things that I really like is like her saying that like, listen, it's not the be all and end all. Like I don't like for me if I find a guy in Korea and I gel with him and it works, that's fine. But at the same time, I don't feel like I would have failed if I don't fall in love with a Korean guy. So Liu tells the girls that she really wants to tell Siwon's parents that she has a child. And Morena and Suwon also um, go on like a little tea date and meet with his mom to break the news of their engagement. So in episode 5, Suwon and Morena meet their mom at like some sort of like a cafe, and they're having like a really nice like it was like really nice spread of like different cakes and stuff. And before the mom can even put like a, I think it was like a mango cake in her mouth, they're like, Suwon is like, yeah, we're engaged. Suwon says that like they plan on getting married this year. They want to have a baby this year as well. They want their wedding in Brazil. Their mom says, like, replies to that, they're like, Brazil or Korea to Brazil is a 30-hour flight. So it's her, like, obviously making an excuse, but being like, she doesn't want to take the trip to Brazil and be a part of the wedding, basically. She says that, like, they should set a date for a Korean wedding. So I'm guessing, like, the mom isn't really against them being engaged. I'm guessing like she just, from what I've got, like the sense that I got was that she didn't really want to go all the way to Brazil for the wedding. Like she wants them to have it more in Korea. But one thing that the mom does say, which took me aback, was she said that like when Suwon told her that he had a Brazilian girlfriend, she used the word embarrassed. And that's the one thing about like Suwon and his mom. They keep using the word embarrassed like quite a lot. I'm just like, what does that mean? Like embarrassing is like a big word. Like what do you mean that like, you're embarrassed that like your son is with a Brazilian? I literally like that. I don't really understand what she meant by that. And then Morena brings a letter out of her bag and she says she wants to read a letter to the mom. And I think she writes it in Korean and Suwon reads it. Everyone starts crying. Morena starts crying. The mom starts crying. Suwon starts crying. And it's basically like Morena saying how much like she loves Suwon and she just wants to be with him. The mom finally gives a blessing. And I'm just like, oh, was that really easy? Like, was it that easy? I don't know whether this was exaggerated. Like, I don't think that the mom was against Suwon, like, being with Morena. I think they probably just used that as an opportunity to be like, oh, let's create some drama. Yeah, I don't know. Because I found it hard to believe that, like, in 2 minutes, a letter is enough to be like, oh, actually, yeah, you guys should get married, or I should give you my blessing. Because obviously, Suwon is more happy to move to Brazil. Suwon's mom says that they should visit Korea. He says that, like, yeah, they'll try and do it. Like, they try and visit Korea once a year. Their mom then says that, like, if they want to have kids, they need to teach their kids Korean. And Morena at least needs to learn Korean as well, which hey, I don't blame her. I do feel like, especially the girls, like if they do want to get with Korean guys, I think it works both ways as well. The boys should learn Portuguese and the girls should learn Korean as well. At least like Mari and Danny, they both speak English really well. So I feel like whenever they conversate and stuff like that, it works between them. I'd say like Suwon and Morena a little bit as well. But yeah, like Luani and Suwon mess. And then Morena goes wedding dress shopping with Suwon and Suwon's mom, which is like a culture shock because I'm guessing like in Brazil and like so many other parts of the world, when a woman gets married and she goes wedding dress shopping, I think it's like it's bad luck for the groom to see the wedding dress, but like the girl would rather go with her parent, like with her mom and like her loved ones and like her friends and stuff like her bridesmaid. So it's a little bit of a culture shock because I think in Korea, I watched like a couple of like wedding vlogs, wedding videos, but it's completely normal for like the groom and the bride to go wedding dress shopping together. This whole thing of like, oh, you can't see the bride before the wedding, it's not really like a thing in Korean culture. So then next, Katie goes on a date with a new guy that has been talking to called Sangil, and at first, like I think they go and eat like food together, and she arrives first, and he sort of like he walks in and he walks past her because at first he doesn't really know that it's her, and then he like sits next to her, and that part like looked a bit artificial to me. Like it looked like the producers were like, oh, pretend that you don't see her, and then pretend that you see her, and then you meet each other. So I found that a bit very weird as well. And then Katie also takes out these damn earpods. I'm sick of tired of these AirPods, honey, but these AirPods, they make an appearance various times in the show. And so Casey takes out these AirPods and gives it to Sangil so that they can talk. Because obviously he doesn't really speak English very well or Portuguese. and she doesn't speak Korean as well. So once again, these earpods are supposed to do the translating for them. One of the notes that I took down was that Sangyeol looks well dressed. Like he and Katie as well. Like they both like Katie. I think she said she studied fashion or she done some sort of like she's worked in the fashion industry because like her style is literally amazing and both of them like together they make such a stylish couple. Yeah, but like Sangyeol looks like he's about to like perform on like some sort of like K-pop stage or like when you watch the Gaio Dejon or whatever it's called, them Mama Awards, and like they do the red carpet. Like Sangyeol looks like he's ready for a red carpet, like a mama red carpet. Sangyeol looks like I put like he looks like he was hired. If you ever watch videos of like I think it's called like host culture in Japan, like you can like hire these men to pretend to be your boyfriends and stuff. Like Sangyeol gives that like it gives like he was hired like by Katie to be like, oh, this is my pretend Korean boyfriend for a day. He's like committed to the cause. Like he's very attentive, respectful and careful to Katie, but it's like it looks so unnatural. Then it goes to Mari and Danny, and they go on a date by the river. Mari wants a kiss real bad. Like she wants a kiss so bad. She wants to kiss this man so bad. And like she becomes like it's almost like a make-a-wish kid. Like Mari is like a make-a-wish kid where it's like her one and only wish is to be kissed by a Korean man. And then ironically as well, Katie and Sangyeol on their date, they talk about kissing on their first date. I think Sangyeol says that like like it's normal for him. He's like kissed on a first date before. And then he kisses her on the cheek, but it looks awkward. Like every time that these girls go on a date, they have to explain themselves about, which is completely normal because Sangyeol wants to know, and it's not his fault that he doesn't know this. But as the viewer, I'm getting bored because it's like we're talking about the whole kissing, 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 kissing. We get it. And then Katie and Sangyeol after their date, they take pictures, and she says that like, going on a date with Sangyeol is like going on a date with a K-pop idol. Sangyeol does look like a K-pop idol. Like he looks like he's ready to, for his next comeback. Like, and it's not even like he looks like a K-pop idol. Like if you dress him up, no, like he came on a date, like hair did, makeup did, outfit on. Like he looked like he was like, oh yeah, I'm coming on this date with you, Katie, but by 9 p.m. I need to be on Ingayo stage, like performing. Like that's what Sangyeol looks like. He's like, oh yeah, I'm on this date with you, Katie, but yeah, I've got a performance on the mama stage and I need to be on there. So Mari and Danny are still on this day. And like obviously the editing is there's anticipation. She keeps like staring longingly at him, like and at his lips and to try and like get him to kiss her, and he's like trying to like distract her. So at one point, like they walk into the middle of the bridge and he's like, look at it, look at this bridge, look at this bridge. And it's like, what are we looking at? So finally on the bridge, Danny kisses Mari, but like he kisses her on the cheek. And it looks so awkward. Like whenever they do kiss and like Mari, even like when Sangyeol kisses Katie on the cheek, it looks painful. Just like smacks his lip on her cheek. And it was at that bit where I was like, I started looking at like maybe the producers and the directors a little bit funny because it looks like Danny, whenever he's speaking to Luan, like whenever he's speaking to Mari and as like friends or just in general, they're pretty interesting and they've got things in common and it's engaging. But whenever they have to talk about themselves or like being in love or like kissing and stuff, he looks uncomfortable. I think maybe like he was probably told to kiss her on the lips, and like I think he settled for the cheek last minute. Like it was so weird. And I think he says something like he wants to be careful. Yeah, that was also odd as well. I think he's like, yeah, I felt bad for Danny. I feel like, yeah, maybe he signed up for the show, but like maybe as like a let's do this thing casually. But I don't think he fully wanted to commit to Mari, or he didn't really want to like kiss her. And I think like maybe somebody somewhere in the show was like, pushing for him to have to kiss her. I think maybe he's like, yeah, like he doesn't want to lead her on. He doesn't want to get physical with her if, mind you, they're not even in a relationship, like they're not together. Then at the house, Lou asks Camilla to translate a phone call between her and Siwon's mom, because obviously she wants to tell Siwon that she has a daughter. And obviously Siwon's mom does not pick up. And so the girls go out to the town. And then Siwon asks to meet Lou close by. So Lou and Siwon meet and they go to a tarot card reader. And she at the bar, Siwon asks, can they ever get married? Can Lou and Luana and Siwon ever get married? And the tarot card reader, she asks Siwon to pick some cards, Lou to pick some cards. Straight away, like this tarot card reader, like at the bar, she's like, Lou, you're the problem. And I feel like somewhere somehow I feel like Siwon, it wouldn't shock me if Siwon paid this tarot card reader to say this and to basically make it seem like Luan is a problem. The tarot card reader's like, oh yeah, Lu, you're the problem. You have trust issues, and this can't work if you don't deal with your trust issues. How come? Mind you, Siwon isn't perfect, and he's got red card. He's got like red flags too. So you mean to tell me that this tarot card reader did not see anywhere in the cards where Siwon is not marriage material, but Lu seems to be the problem? Like I'm not, defending Luana. Like I feel like she is also toxic, but it's funny how like Luana is the problem as to why they can't get married, and she's got trust issues, but Siwon is perfect. I found that very interesting. But anyway, they don't care. Luana leaves the tarot card date giggling, and they're all in love with each other. It's them against the world. It's Luani and Siwon's world, and we are just living in it. And then next, when they get to the house, Luani gets a text from Siwon's mom asking them to meet up. And then we move into episode 6. So in episode 6, Camilla goes on a run date with Yu Chan, and he gives her a fan, and he basically says that like he wants to cook for her. And one thing about Yu Chan, he's always like thinking about the next date and the next step. Like he wants to do more with Camilla, like wants to see her more, which I think is a green flag. Like I do like Yu Chan and Camilla together. He also says that like he's been in 5 relationships, like he's 40 years old and he's been in 5 relationships. And Camilla says like it's a lot, which I don't think that's bad. Like 40 years, like you're 40 years of age and you've been in 5 relationships. Like that's not actually bad. And she's only been in 2. And basically he's asked to go on another date with Camilla before she goes to Brazil. He always wants to do, the hug and the kiss thing, the double cheek kiss thing. Next, Luani goes on a sort of meets up with Siwon's mom, and the AirPods are back out again. So Luani brings the AirPods. Someone's mom sticks them in. I'm just like, these damn earpods, like, are literally going to be the death of me. But yeah, it's so that they can understand each other, because Siwon's mom doesn't speak Portuguese and Luani obviously doesn't speak Korean. So they talk, and Luani lets her know that she's got a daughter. And Siwon's mom takes it so well. Like, I love Siwon's mom. She is so nice, so understanding. She doesn't judge. And she just like speaks light into Luani. Even though Siwon is so unbearable. Like his mom is literally an amazing woman. And then literally after Luan is told Siwon's mom, Siwon now walks in and he's like, no, happy go lucky, like, hey. And then he tries to like explain and be like, oh, it's fine, I'll explain, we've got something to tell you. And then Siwon's mom, like his mom and Luani is like, yeah, we've already had this conversation. I gave a major side eye because I'm thinking like, obviously if someone's mom like wasn't so open and wasn't like, you know, fine with it. Like Luani would have had to deal with the conversation by herself. Bear in mind she doesn't understand lick of Korean. It could have gone wrong. And the fact that like he allowed Luani to go into that conversation on her own, like I give him a major side eye. Next, Danny and Mari they go to Namsan Tower and they look at the lock bridge. One thing I find so funny is that like Danny takes her to this lock bridge, and like where like I think it's like a thing in like Namsan Tower, like you get like a padlock and you write, your names, like, or your initials, and like you put it on the bridge. And like I thought it was gonna be like a romantic thing, like Mari and Danny to do, and also like maybe speak about if they were gonna, commit to each other, like be boyfriend and girlfriend. And like one thing I find funny, like I realizing is like they didn't put a they didn't do the padlock thing. Like he just took her to Namsan Tower to be like, hey, you see, look all these locks in the bridges that you're not going to do, because I'm not going to ask you to be my girlfriend. I find that very funny. And at the same time, Katie and Sangil are on a date in a village. I don't know whether like Sangil and Katie have a lot of things in common. Like they don't really talk more about that, but like their conversation moves a little bit more smoother and better than Katie did with Jack. Then Mari and Danny talk about the problem with long distance relationships, because obviously she's going to be going to Brazil and he's going to be staying in Korea, and how difficult it is. Then Mari, like in her voiceover, she's considering ending things because obviously long distance might be an issue between the both of them. And then it's weird because it goes back to Katie and Sangil, and I didn't really take any notes because it wasn't really anything worth noting about. It's just whenever like Katie and Sangil would talk, it would be about nothing. Like for some reason they'd have things to talk about, but it wasn't engaging. It's just they talk, but they just talk about nothing. Like there's nothing interesting. Then it goes back to Mari and Danny, and Mari thanks Danny for being, accommodating and taking her around Korea and, teaching her about Korean culture. And then they finally kiss, but the kiss is so awkward. It looks painful as well, and it looks like the build up is so awkward. Like it feels like once again, I feel like the producers were really pushing Danny, like, hey, you got to kiss her, you got to kiss her, you got to kiss her, and then he finally does it. I think she does it, but like it's so awkward. And then all the girls go out with their guys to have like a little party and a little like send off party, and they celebrate Morena's engagement. It's weird because as well, like some guys fit in the group really well, like Suwung fits well in the group, no Danny as well, and also Siwon as well. But for some reason, like Samuel looks odd, like he looks out of place. Like he and Casey look good together, but it looks like, like it's very clear that all the girls get along and they really like each other, and they're supportive of each other. But the guys, like, I don't imagine Samuel and Suwon will have anything to talk about, or Samuel and Siwon will have anything to talk about. I think it would have been really nice to see the guys interact with each other, but you realize that they can't, like, because they don't actually know each other very well. Like, it's so awkward. Luani then tells the group that, Siwon's mom took the news pretty well, and she's, supportive of their relationship, and, they cheers to that. And Morena says to Siwon that, marriage is next. Like he needs to propose to Luani. And I was just like, why would you encourage them? Like, I mean, they're not going to listen to us anyway. Like, Siwon and Luani are probably going to do whatever they want to do. Then Mari tells the group about her date with Danny, and, says that like she finally kissed Danny, and everybody is like celebrating, like woohoo. Also, Danny's face is weird. Like, Danny's pretty smiley, like he's a smiley guy, like he likes to smile quite a lot. But when Mari is telling the group that like they kissed, like his face is like straight, and he's looking at her like he's not really happy or like anything. Like I found that really weird. And also like I feel gaslighted as well. Like I don't know if anybody watched it with how awkward the kiss is. Like Mari made it seem like, he tongued her down, like, they French kissed, like they had to be pulled off each other. The kiss was that good. Like no, like it was a peck, and also it was the most awkward peck that we've ever seen. Then Camilla speaks to Yu Chan, and she gets emotional about her trip. He's like, "Oh, dear me, it's like speak to me, like let's keep our conversation going." Like, because obviously I'm guessing Yu Chan really likes Camilla. For some reason, Camilla is crying, and I'm not sure why. What the emotion was. I feel like maybe it's a little bit deeper. I don't know whether she was getting emotional about her trip, or maybe like obviously being Korean, she was there to like discover more about her culture. So I don't know whether maybe them leaving got to her in the end and she was getting emotional. So the next scene is the girls getting ready for their trip. They're going back to Brazil, and Luani says, see ya. I'm not going to Brazil. I'm going to stay with Siwon a little bit longer, and, make our relationship work a little bit more. So then we are fast forwarded to 3 months later, and in Belo Horizonte in Brazil, Morena and Siwon finally get married in a church, and the mom was actually in attendance. So it means that the 30-hour flight was not too bad. She was actually able to sit through that flight. So she's in attendance. I think Katie and Luan, like a lot of the girls were there. I think Siwon, I saw him like in the pictures, like he was there in the wedding as well. I don't think the rest of the, like Sangyo wasn't there, Danny wasn't there, and Yu Chan wasn't there as well. Which makes sense because they didn't know Morena and Seung very well. Yu Chan he just met Camilla, so obviously why would he be invited to the wedding? So obviously that makes sense. And that is the end of My Korean Boyfriend. I feel like when I was looking at like after every episode, you got to know who the producers and the directors were. There were a lot of Brazilian like names. So I think it was very heavily produced and directed from a Brazilian perspective. Even like it was like overtly scripted as well. I do think that like even the voiceovers were very dated. If you ever watch like 16 and Pregnant, like the way the girls would do the voiceovers, like I think they'd go into a studio and record it. That's how the girls on the show did the voiceovers, and it was so like outdated. I think it would have been very interesting to have seen it shot from a Korean perspective. For me, I feel like the concept was there. Like I understand the concept. I feel like it was executed poorly. Like if you ever watch Young Famous and African, it's a show on Netflix, and also like if you ever look at like Wags or I forgot like that Dubai show that people were watching. Like I think it was like I don't know, it was like living in Dubai or something like that. That aspect of like, I get it, like you wanted it to be set in Korea, with some Brazilians in Korea. I feel like they should have found Brazilians in Korea who have made a life for themselves in Korea and like how they find living in Korea. If they have relationships, it could have been like them like getting to know more about their Korean partners or their friends or like the relationships that they've cultivated. Watching it, it was like a Brazilian's idea of what they think Korea should be like. So overall, these are my thoughts about the show, My Korean Boyfriend. Let me know what you guys thought. If you guys have watched the show, you guys were thinking about watching the show. What are your opinions? Like, if there's anything I've missed as well, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe as well. If you reached this part of part of the video, thank you so much for taking time of your day to watch my video. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.